So in the morning time, I feel like it's a really great time to set the stage for your day. So I'll quite often just come down and do a shorter practice, and whether it's yoga or just some body movements that just kind of set the stage for the day. So I'm going to do a shorter practice today on movement, and I'm going to start by just kind of a little bit just an awareness around the ribs, and because we're having awareness around the ribs, we can also pull in some breathing. So what I'll do is just get a little awareness around the ribs. So I'm going to roll a blanket, and I'm not going to make it too big. And we'll set the blanket there in its little roll design. And I've got a cushion already there. You could also have another blanket for your head. I'm in a place right now where I don't have a ton of props, so I'm just improvising. And then I'm gonna lie over the roll. You can see it's quite up high, just almost underneath my armpit. And then I can lie down here. That actually might be even a little bit low, but that's okay. I'm here now and we'll just go with it. And I've just kind of put my knees on top of one another. So we'll just pause here for a moment and take a few moments to notice your breath. And there might be more awareness of the part of the ribs that are over the support. And then leading into the ribs front, side, and back. So just becoming aware of the breath on that side, and then simple to move to the other side, just simply sit up, bring the props to the other side, and then lie back down, and then we'll work on the other side. So again, lying over the roll, head just on a nice light support, knees are stacked. And again, I'm just initially going to feel the ribs that are over the support. And then I'm going to move to the ribs that are more open, so the front, side, and back ribs. You could even place your hand there as you breathe. Great. And then we'll come off this support, and then we'll work our way down onto our back. Look this way, I guess. And we'll come just to lie with our knees bent. And then just to move back into that piece of awareness, just to feel the back of the head, the back ribs, so right behind the sternum, how your hips are settled into the mat, as well as what parts of your feet do you notice on the mat. And then from here, we're just going to start to do some extension through the hips. Lower them back down. Now, you'll notice that I use the word extend through the hips. So you're moving yourself up into a bridge pose. And then we'll bring the knees in toward us. And then we're going to continue working with the hips. We've brought the hips up into what we call sagittal plane. And now we're going to do some rotation of the hips. So we'll bring there's lots of different rotations that we can do. We'll bring the right leg up, do a little bit of movement of the leg bone in the hip socket. And then we'll keep that foot into the external rotation as we place the right foot just on the left leg. And then you can bring your arms wherever you like, but no higher than shoulder height. And then we'll just remember this is a morning practice. So we're just going to go in a range that's suitable for morning practice. So you want to keep in mind that we're moving optimally here. So you want to keep sort of in that framework that you're not moving into too much stretch or too much sensation. You just want to kind of move gently and slowly, let the tissue have time to become supple in the fascia and the tissue. So there's no greater gains to dropping the legs all the way to the floor. There's greater gains in the movement, in the framework where there's less of that sensation so that the muscle and tissue and fascia have time to settle and soften. And then the movement is not forced. Okay, and then we'll move to the other side. So we'll bring the right foot back down and then extend the left leg up and do the same thing on that side. Now we're just rotating the leg bone in the hip socket. So that's also a movement in itself. So improving leg bone movement in hip socket is always such a great movement for people to improve. And then start the opposite side. So you might even notice as you go into the awareness piece of your movement is that as you're dropping the knees from one side to the other, are you just feeling it in your hips or is there other places in your body that you're feeling it? So I know in my case, go into the right side with the left foot on my right knee. I tend to feel some sensation in the shoulder of my left, kind of under my arm. So that's just kind of a curious piece. So I'll try and work within the framework of not going too far to overstretch where those fascia and trends are. Okay, and then when we go one more time to each side, we'll bring ourselves back to the center. Feels so good. And then we'll just move the the hips into extension again. So just notice the points of the bottoms of the feet. Extend through your hips. And then back down. And then what we'll do is we'll roll to our side. And we'll now take some rotation of the ribs to the hips, okay? So now what we'll do is we're going to take a blanket and now use that for support for the head. I'm going to come down and lie on my left side. Extend my left arm out, just kind of like we did when we were over when we were lying over the roll for the lateral stretch and breath. And then just bring your hands to rest on one another. knees to rest on one another. So you're kind of in this little fetal position. And then I'm going to bring my right arm up. Once it becomes in line with the ceiling, maybe just do a little bit of movement at your shoulder. Now we start to move the ribs open. So now the arm is no longer moving. I'm just moving into rib rotation. So my knees don't shift back, they stay stacked. And then I come all the way back down. This is called sunrise sunset. So see that my arm comes up and now my arm stays in place. So now I just open with the ribs. So the rotation is the ribs rotating, not me reaching back with the arm. And as I do this, and I noticed this because I wasn't breathing, just notice your breathing as you do this. So you want to make sure that you're not breath holding. Now in this furthest rotation, my obliques are the muscles that kind of stop me from going any further, which is okay because we don't want to overdo. And then come back to the sunset. And then we'll push up and then we'll go to the other side. So you can either just turn around. I'm going to go to the other end of the mat so that I can continue looking at the camera. So it's almost like we're taking our body segments and we're just moving everything, waking it up, and then hopefully everything will work in unison together, which is pretty much what we want in our body. And the more that we can do that, the more that the body does reduce or eliminate pain. So let's bring the left arm up now. So now it's just perpendicular with the ceiling. You can do a little bit of a push your fingers toward the ceiling. And then from here now the arm stays set and the ribs rotate open. And my my knees stay on top of one another so that the hips do stay quiet. Okay, I'll do one more. And then, try not to reach back with the arm. The movement is coming from the ribs. Okay, great. Take a little pause again, and we're going to go back to hip extension. So here I am again, and I'm elevating my hips, moving your hip bones into extension, and then back down. And then we'll do one more into extension. I'm going to just draw my knees in toward me. So that just kind of feels like a thing to do. And then let's bring the feet down to the floor, just wherever they land. And then let's just do a little bit of butterfly with the legs. And so it's important to know that what we're doing is just moving our body parts. So right now we're moving our legs into adduction as they open, adduction as they come together. As you're doing this, you can also take a glimpse at what is happening up chain and down chain of the movement, which is originating from the hips. So we want to continue to make sure that we're breathing. We want to make sure that we are not gripping or holding in the jaw. So these are things that are compensations and things that can put the body system off, if you want to call it a system. And it's good work to do. So just keep the body moving and all its component parts well, and then the body's just kind of like a well-oiled machine. So from here, let's just come up to a standing position and just take in how the body feels. And we'll just do just a small movement of forward folding. So I'm going to bring my hands to the upper part of the back of the legs, just to kind of stimulate that there's a little bit of an awareness around the scapulas, so the shoulder blades which move around your ribs. Breathe in here, and then just soften at your knees and draw your hands down the backs of the legs. So you see I'm a flat back to about halfway, and then I can soften my knees a little bit more, and then my back is going to round as I go into the forward fold. I can drop the crown of the head toward the floor, and then I'm going to sweep my hands to the backs of the legs, and now I'm going to lead up with a nice flat back and with a breath in, and then I'm going to do the same thing, move to the forward fold. So flat back most of the way, and then to get a little bit deeper, we need to kind of round the back and drop the crown. Breathe in and come up. And then this time I'm going to just sweep my arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down. And then we'll do it one more time. So breathe in. Forward fold. And then with a nice flat back, lead all the way up and sweep the arms. Okay, so let's just move the arms up, lift up off the heels, go into your tippy toes. Come on down and then just sweep your arms around and bring the hands together at your heart, lower the chin and bow into yourself. Okay, so you've kind of woken up some body parts. You'd be ready now for maybe a workout or a longer yoga practice. You're standing now, you could do some poses, or you just kind of get on with your day or do a breathing practice. So just a little bit of a movement set here to get you going for your day. So enjoy your day. Go have a cup of tea.